Hey everyone, it's Karen, and on today's episode, I brought Danielle Wright. She was one of my St. Charles picks. Hello, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. I'm super excited to be here.
Yes. So I originally went to her because her stand popped out to me because it's literally like everything's purple. So you have all these other like traditional, like I don't know, the other ones they didn't really have like one specific color. They were all like multicolored, which is cool. But hers was just like, here I am. I'm like, okay, so I gotta talk to her. And so as soon as I started talking to her, I was like, I had to have you on here because you are so amazing. Like, I love you to
Thank
death.
you.
You're so cute. Like, I love how you like were helping with the angles of the pictures and everything because I was like, well, I want your banner. And you're like, well, come over here. So you're very helpful as well. And I
Aw,
love you.
thank you.
You're
I love
welcome.
that it was the purple that attracted you to me because everything is purple. That's my signature color. So everything is purple. So I love that that's why you came over. It's like, yay, the purple works.
Yes. And then what was also I liked as well, I picked up a few of your stickers. I'm gonna try to stick around here at some bookstores and stuff. But so guys, she has little chapsticks with her actual book covers on them. I love it. I literally do. So this one is I don't know if they're like different colors, but this one's like the pinkish red color.
Hmm.
But yeah, the book that's on here is Protecting My Angel by Danielle Wright. So I love the great marketing design that you have here, and the chapstick works because I literally put it on every single day. Well, I do it
Right.
mainly of a night because I don't know. I like to, it just seems to soak in because I'm not like moving and
Yes.
all that stuff. Because during the
Yes.
day, like it's just, yeah, it don't stay on
Yeah.
my mouth. But
No.
right now it will be because I have it on right now. So,
Yay.
all right.
Love
So
it.
I have plenty of questions as usual for her. So are you ready, Danielle, to dive into these?
I'm ready. I'm ready. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Awesome. Okay. So the first question I have for you is, how do you find time to write?
Oh, that's the $1 million question. It's not always just sitting down and writing. I will sometimes like ideas come to me when I'm driving, and so I have to do a quick like voice memo. It's a text message real quick, like to remind me of something. And then, the funny part is like I always get the urge to write at the most inconvenient time where I'm like, oh, I need to sit down and get all of the words. You might see one of my fur babies pop up. They're just a little jealous. It's fine.
I love
And
kitties though. So
Maddox is here, and I'll show you a little bit. He's just jealous, so I'm talking to somebody that's not him, so he has to come find out why.
okay.
But
So you want to
anyway,
be in the interview?
he does. He's like, no, I'm just gonna sit here next to mama the entire time. Um,
Okay.
and so I think that for like sitting down to write, I can do a couple of different things. I like to make a day of it where I just sit down. I'm like, okay, I know I'm going to sit down and I'm going to write for these 2 hours, and I don't let anything else happen. It's just this is what I'm going to do. Um, I also kind of just like a little more of a fluid pace to it, like, oh, you've got some downtime. Let's sit down. Let's put on whatever music or show, and then just kind of type whatever's in your head at the moment. So I plan but don't plan. I try to schedule it, but not really, because sometimes when you schedule it's just forced and then it just doesn't work. So, you find the quiet 15, 20 minutes in between errands and work and whatnot, and you just that's what you work with. And hopefully that 20 minutes can turn into an hour or two or whatever. And so yeah. Yep.
Okay, next question I have for you is what is the best time of day for you to write?
Oh, that's changed a little bit for me. When I first started out 13 years ago, when I actually like started writing stories,
Mhm.
um, nighttime was great for me. Anything after 10 o'clock. And I think because there was just quiet. around, the world seemed to go to sleep. So there wasn't friends blowing up your phone, messages coming across socials. You weren't, out with friends at dinner or movies or anything like that. Everything just seemed to be quieter and a little bit more calming. And I loved to stay up late and work anyway. So nighttime was really great for me. Now I find early mornings have become a thing. Like if I can get up early before kind of the world starts now, that's when I can get some good words in. So yeah.
I'm that way. I used to be the same way as you, like nighttime when I was younger, anyways. I don't know, like college, high school, probably college time. I'd stay up till like
Yes.
10 or 11 o'clock. And it wasn't even because I was in college. It was just like literally like right after college period. But so I still felt like I was in my college mode, but I just stayed up later. And because, as you said, the whole world goes to sleep and you have
Yes.
the world to yourself. Like you can be calm and like
Yes.
actually think everything's quiet. But now it's for me since I'm an online student instead of back then I had to actually drive and I'm working. My schedule's kind of messed up all over the place now. So now I'm a morning person, 4
Yeah.
a.m.
Yes.
4 a.m. Sometimes 3, but
Yeah.
if you're
Sometimes
up,
that's, yeah, you're up.
right. 3, do
Might
some
as,
homework and then do your
yep.
chores in between. And afterwards, hey, I'm on a laptop. I might as well write a little bit and then go to
Yes.
work and then complain I'm tired.
Energy drinks. Those are my friends. That's how I
Yes,
get through my days.
yes, yes. So I've started back on those because in high school,
Uh,
um, I drank Monsters a lot. So
mm,
now I'm back on the coffee monster kicks. So I have, because I'm not really supposed to have, I'm not going to get into that. I have
yeah,
anxiety and coffee doesn't mix well, but I'm
I get
tired.
it.
So
Yeah.
we got
You
to do
need the
what we got to
something.
do.
Exactly. Exactly.
So, okay. Next question I have for you is how do you know what to write?
The characters tell me.
Okay.
I know that sounds crazy, and it really is. They do talk in my head. Once I've kind of developed them and kind of decided like who's going to be part of which story, I just kind of let them play around up there. I throw in ideas. Try and play with this scene. Do I want them to do this? And then sometimes they just go like something sticks, and then that's it, and that's what happens. And um, yeah, I just kind of let the story flow. Whatever the characters decide what adventure we're going on or how things are going to happen. You were talking about protecting my angel earlier. So that was actually never supposed to be a book. That was Protecting My Heart's the first one in that series. And that book went a completely different direction than what I had written down. I was like, oh no, we're going to do this and this and this and this. And then I started writing it and it just went way over here. And next thing I know, I've got two more books with it. And I had zero plans for that whatsoever. So I really do mean it when I say the characters come in and take over and tell me what to do. And when I try and get them to do something they don't want to, they don't like it. So that becomes a little bit of a struggle too.
No, I completely understand that. Like a lot of other authors that I've interviewed said the exact same thing. So at first, I was the very first person I did that said that. I was like, what? But then as I'm thinking about when I was writing, because I'm trying to be an author too someday, that's why I'm trying to get some little information
Mhm.
as well from you all.
Yeah.
But um, it really was, I had to write what was going to happen. Like I wrote down like an outline and then like this character's name and all that. And it really does depend on your characters. I mean, yeah, you
Hmm.
can think of a scenario, but really like what are they gonna do about that scenario? Or like, yeah, it really is your characters. So
It really and truly is. And, they become real people to you in your head, and you just have to let them do what they're going to do. So,
yeah, pretty much. Next
yeah.
question I have is how long does it take you to write a book?
Oh, so that varies as well. The quickest I've ever written a story, I wrote a 10,000 anthology piece, 10,000 word anthology piece, and I wrote it in a day. I knew exactly what was going to happen. And I sat down in my comfy chair with my laptop and my computer because I moved back and forth and I just wrote
Yeah.
all day. My brother would come downstairs and he's like, "Have you eaten yet?" "No, don't bother me." He'd bring me like little crackers, just slide them because I'm not even going to talk to you, just sliding me like refills of M&Ms and M's and Dr. Pepper and pretzels because he was like, "You have to eat something." Um, and so that took me, I want to say, about 15 hours to write. And I just wrote nonstop all day. Um, the longest one probably was a couple years. I would say, oh, it was more than a couple years. So I had the first draft done in 2017 for Riker's Lullaby. And then, oh, it was 2023, 2024 when I published it. And that took a long time to get out. And a lot of that was because that book is super emotional. It's not so much like drama, like action packed drama. It's very much of an emotional journey. And so I really wanted to make sure that the emotions were right. I was battling with some emotions myself during that time frame. And so I wasn't quite in the frame of mind to get that one like edited and go through because whatever emotions those characters are feeling, like it just like 10 times, 1,000 times more is what like I picked up on it. And so I had to set that one aside. So that was probably the longest. You know, I tend to work pretty well on a deadline. If you tell me, like, if I'm part of a group project that says, "Oh, we're publishing, this date, this is your publishing date," I can get a book done pretty quickly. If I'm left to my own devices, it can be, feel like writing it, I feel like don't. Um, yeah, it really does vary. And it also depends, like, if I have a solid feeling and development with that story. So if I know everything that's going to happen and I can see the entire thing played out and the characters are on board with me, then it writes pretty easily. When I want something different to happen and the characters don't agree, that's when we start running into some writer's block and some delays because then it takes me some time to try and figure it out. And so, so yeah, I think it just kind of depends. I don't think that there should be a whole lot of pressure on yourself when you're writing. I don't give myself deadlines because then I feel that starts to force the story a little bit. Um, it definitely can increase some anxiety when you're part of your projects and they're like, "Oh, well, you have to publish on this date." And you're like, "Okay, great. Thanks. Awesome."
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Pressure's not fun.
no.
All right. Next question I have is, what is the most difficult part of writing a book?
Editing, editing, 100% editing. Editing is a special kind of torture. And I will say it's right up there with writing the back blurb of your book.
Yeah,
It's
I see that.
that back blurb is just, I mean, how am I supposed to take a 50,000 word book and condense it into 500 words? It's going to make you want to read it. I can't do it. I can't do it.
Um,
There's a reason I write books because I talk too much and explain too much. I can't condense it into 500 words. It's just not a thing. Um, so that's a real struggle. But one of the things that I had to get used to was the editing and the critiquing. You write your first draft and you've poured everything out onto the paper and you love it and you think it's fantastic and you're super proud of the story and you're like, "Oh my God, I did it. I wrote it. It's done." And then you send it to the editor and they come back and it's marked up and this is wrong and this doesn't make sense and you said this too much and this doesn't flow with this and you repeated it or this name changed. And
yeah.
that's hard. That's hard the first time you do it because you're like, "Oh my God, they hate my story. Oh my God, I'm the worst thing ever." No, you have to go
Yeah.
into it and go, "Okay, they're helping me get better." um it For me it helps to write the story, step away for a little bit, go back, read it again so that I have it with kind of like a fresh eye, because as you're writing it you're very much immersed in the story, and so it consumes your thoughts and you know what's going on. And for me, like, I can visually see it happening in my head, and so then it's really hard to edit as you're writing that because you're in it. You can't make changes when you're in it. And so then when you're done, step back, then you can go back and do a self edit. You have,
Right.
read it bits and pieces at a time, and
Mhm.
you're able to catch things a little bit more. Um, but I would say editing is probably the hardest thing for an author to get used to, because you have to be able to accept the critique from somebody coming back and saying, like, hey, this doesn't work, you need to change it, or hey, this whole thing doesn't fit, you need to delete 1,500 words. That's a real thing. Um but that back blurb, man, phew, if I could pay somebody else to do that for me, I would, because I don't like it.
Yeah. I get that. I totally get that for sure. All right. Next question I have for you is, did you self-publish or go the traditional route, and why?
So I did self-publishing. I never actually considered becoming a published author. It was never on my radar, because at the time when I started, you had your self-published, Danielle Steele and James Patterson and John Grisham, and Nora Roberts, and that's how you had to become a published author. You had to go through a publishing house. You had the story out there at the time of, oh, I'm drawing a blank on her name now, and I'm so going to be in trouble. But the Harry Potter lady, God, I can't remember her name.
J.K. Rowling, isn't it?
Thank you. Yeah, I think so. Yes. I was
The
like,
only
oh
reason
my
why
God,
I know
total.
is because I read that all. That I'm a Gryffindor fan. Like, I love that. So,
I'm I'm right there with you. I'm a Gryffindor. I got a little Harry Potter shelf downstairs in my living room. Like, I love the movies. I love the books. Why her name went away, I have no idea. Um, but she was doing the traditional route, and she got turned down, what, 2 dozen times before
oh
somebody
yeah.
actually picked up Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Um, and so it was never something that I aspired to do, because I was like, I didn't want to be rejected. I didn't want to, I didn't think that my stuff would ever be good enough to go to a publishing house like that. And I never even considered it. And then this is right around that 2013, 2012 era. 50 Shades had just come out and was huge. Fan fiction was a big thing. Twilight was a big thing.
Yep.
Um, I've fallen in love with, well, I mean, I read 50, and then that came into, like, opened up a whole new world of romance for me. Like, I didn't even know several of the authors that I absolutely adore now even existed. And found out that a lot of them were indie authors. It's like, what is an indie author? I don't know what that means. And then we actually, when Jodi Ellen Malpass, her book This Man became big, she was the first big indie author that I paid attention to. And I was like, oh, wait, you mean we can do this ourselves? Like, okay, how does that work? And so I was like, sure, why not? Let's try it. Let's see. I didn't know what to make of it. I didn't know what it would be, but I was like, all right, let's give it a shot. How does this work? So we figured out how it worked. So I
Yay.
think that,
Glad you
yeah, I'm like, yay.
did.
I'm like, yeah, I'm glad I did too.
I didn't mean to cut you off. Did you have anything
Oh, no.
else?
No, 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 no. I
Okay.
mean, and I think that was it. I think like you said, you glad I did. That's one of the best decisions I think I made, was doing it, and putting the book out there, and going on this adventure. So stop with the tail.
I like that. All right. Next question I have for you is, what important advice would you give to a first-time author?
Write the words. It does not matter if they make any sense. It does not matter if it's the end of your story, the middle of your story. It doesn't matter if it's even going to be part of the book you're trying to write. Write the words. Get it down on paper. Just write. Um, because you never know what's going to happen. You never know if what you're starting to write is going to be a spin-off series, or it's going to trigger a whole new idea, or you may write it and go, oh, I don't like this at all, and set it aside, but it might inspire something different. um, Write the words. Don't be hard on yourself as you're writing it. Write what you feel, write what you see, write what the characters tell you. If you don't stick to a plan that you've made, that's okay. There's no rules, hard and fast rules for writing a book. And there's no hard and fast rules for the timeline or how you approach it. It really is like how you feel about it. If that makes sense. It's your schedule,
Yes.
it's your book. So you can't
Yeah.
go off of like how I do it or how James Patterson writes a book or anything like it. That's their stuff.
Right.
It's you. So you write when you feel like it. If you're riding the bus and some words come to you, write it down. I have several author friends that handwrite their books before they type them because there's just something cathartic to them about handwriting out a book. I was like, I would love to do that. I think I would kill my hand if I did that.
Yeah.
I I have journals all over the place, and I constantly have a journal with me, and I write down ideas. But just write the words, and then you can figure out the plan later. You can put them in order later. Just you want to write, sit down and start writing. Don't let anybody else tell you you can't do it. Don't let anybody else tell you that it's wrong or what you're writing is weird or it doesn't make sense. Just write the words because the biggest person, like I write for my readers, but I also write for myself. I tell the stories that I want to tell, and hopefully they resonate with somebody else. If they don't, then they don't. But at least I get to be proud of that book. So write the words and ignore everybody else when they tell you that you can't do it or you're doing it wrong because there's no right way to do it. So,
I completely agree with you. All right. Next question I have for you is, when did you first realize you wanted to be a writer?
um, that's an interesting question. So I've always been a storyteller. When I was in elementary school, I don't even remember the name of this club or program that I was part of, but I would memorize children's books because that's what we read at the time. And then turn around and you would retell them, you'd act them out. But you didn't have props or anything. It was all hand gestures and emotions and body movement. And I honestly don't remember what this is called, but and that's when I knew like I loved doing that. And I have vague memories of when I was younger, Saturday mornings, I was making up stories and adventures while I'm watching cartoons. And I had imaginary friends that I was talking to all the time. And so I've always had stories and wanted to tell them. Um, and I used to write little stories. I'm not kidding when I say I have notebooks and journals all over the place. I've got a box of notebooks from middle school and high school where I wrote out little stories, event and like in a something would happen and I didn't like the way it went. So I'd go in and I would write it to make it the way I wanted it to go. And so I would change things in my journals to be the way I wanted life to go. Um, and honestly, like I'm going to jump back to the 50 Shades trilogy. We were waiting. We were all waiting. We'd all read the books. I found this great group of women that we'd all read the books. We're talking about it. We're all excited. We're sharing new recommendations of new romance authors and, oh, you'll love this and read that. And there's this out there. And so that was totally awesome. But then we found fan fiction. And I was like, oh, there's more 50 stories on fan fiction. You can read different things. And then as you're reading it, you're realizing, like, oh, they're taking these characters, but creating their own stories. I was like, well, let me try that. Let me do that.
Yeah.
So I wrote a couple stories like based on 50 Shades. And I was like, oh, this is cool. And then I started playing around with an idea of one. Um, so when I was in high school, our senior year, I had taken 2 years of French class by then, and they were doing a trip to Paris, and I really wanted to go. But the world was not a happy place at the time, and my dad was like, "No, you're not going to Paris." And I'm like, "But I want to go to Paris. Like that would be so cool. It would be with the school, and we'd be safe." He's like, "You're not going." Like the world was not happy, so we're like, "Okay, fine." So I never went to Paris. So as I'm writing like the 50 Shades stuff and seeing how people are taking those characters and seriously putting them in their own worlds that had nothing to do with what E.L. James had written, I was like, oh, what if I did something like this? I'd come across somebody who had done her own work and it wasn't related to any like TV show or movie or book or anything that was already out there. It was her own work. And I was like, oh, interesting. And so then I started writing one of my very first book called A Moment in Paris, and it was about a girl who went to Paris right after she graduated high school, and what she would have experienced and what she found and the love that she found there, and so that's how it honestly led into it. I don't think I ever aspired to be a writer. I think storytelling has kind of always been in my nature. I get it from my dad. He used to make up stories for my brother and I and put us to sleep all the time. So that's super cool. But I never really aspired to write stories to give people to read. It just kind of developed over that natural, like, oh, hey, I kind of like doing this. That's cool. So different avenues, different things that I found kind of led to writing my own books and telling my own stories. So that's, yeah.
Like
I don't know.
that.
Does that answer the question?
Yeah, and it actually answered the rest of my question, a few of my other questions too. So
Okay.
so that was actually good. But yeah, no,
Okay.
about you saying the boxes of note journals and stuff all over the place.
Mhm.
I'm the same way. I literally have stuff from at my elementary because I want to turn my elementary stories like edit them myself and make them actually have a word because when you're in elementary you kind of write not
Yeah.
well so you don't know what's
Right.
going on but like it's
Right.
you so if you start try to start reading it you'll be able to figure it out and all that but yeah I have
Yes.
boxes well actually I have a file I got a filing cabinet now but as of last night doing these podcasts has really inspired me to start to really like kick my own butt in gear and to edit my own stuff. So
Yay.
I edit like 20 of my little poetry because I have a lot of poetry of like kind of when I was growing up thought everybody loved romance a lot so I made up like
Mhm.
fake stories and stuff so I have like
Yes.
love poetry and then some poetry I have is like kind of like how I felt and was going through because I didn't
Hmm.
have a good childhood and stuff so I have a lot of all those emotions I want to actually be able to sit down and kind of work through and be able to publish them because I know that there's plenty
Yeah.
of other people that has went through my similar situations or whatever, or like even the romance stories. Like I know that everybody loves romance, so but yeah, I'm really happy now. Thank you guys for seriously
Good.
helping me push myself to edit my stuff. So hopefully
Yay. Oh,
Hopefully by next year I'll have a book or two maybe out. So then I can start doing promotions and stuff like I'm doing with
yeah.
you all.
Oh, that's so awesome. I hope that you do. I think there's going to be something healing and cathartic about that for you too, to just kind of go back and revisit some of it. And you're right. I mean, the what you went through, you're not the only one. So it doesn't even have to be perfect. It just has to be that raw, that they can feel it in there, put it out there. And yeah, it can just be like a little journey. And you start with elementary school and work your way up or
Yep.
keep it separate. I think that's a great idea. Oh, I'm so excited to read those. I'm excited
Thanks.
for you.
Thank you. All right. So we have a minute left. Do you have anything you want
Okay.
to wrap up really quick before I say bye?
Um, no, I think, I'm so happy to do this. Thank you so much. You're my first podcast, so thank you for that. I think that's awesome.
Oh, this is so
Yay.
exciting.
So exciting to do. I love it so much. This is awesome. So, and I'm so glad that you came and sat by my table and reached out, and this has been awesome. And thank you for what you do for authors and helping us market and promote and sharing what we share. I mean, without you guys, without the readers, without content creators like you, we don't get all, it's hard to get our stuff out there. So everything you do helps so much, and I'm so appreciative. So thank you so very much.
Welcome. Thank you all for the trust. So, but
Love it.
all right. Thank you, everybody, and have a good rest of your day.
Thank you.
Bye.